Hello everyone. In that video we will analyze game between Mikhail Botvinnik, who played with white pieces, and Gideon Stahlberg, who played with black pieces. Game was played in Moscow 1935, and Botvinnik shown his amazing tactical and strategical skills in that game. Well, let's start. Let's see what happened. c4, e6, knight c3, d5, d4, and tirage defense. c5, c takes d, e takes d, knight f3, and knight c6. Rubinstein's favorite move in that moment was g3, but Botvinnik rather played e3, which led to completely different type of middle game. c4. We should not blame black for that move, because that game was played in 1935. Instead of that, for instance, knight f6 with bishop e6 keeping tense was also a reasonable option. Bishop e2. Instead of that, white could try with e4 immediately, but that would lead to sharper play. Botvinnik played bishop e2, bishop b4, and after castling, knight e7. That's very strange, and that cannot be good. Simply knight f6 is perfect option, because simply that knight cannot be pinned with bishop g5. Bishop g5 is impossible, as you can see. So that knight is very safe on f6, controlling not only d5 but also e4. After knight e7, white used possibility to play e4 immediately. Opening position. D takes. If bishop takes c3, b takes, and d takes e4, knight d2, white is out of problem. Soon white will retain some pawn, and with two bishops his position should be preferred. After e4, d takes c, knight takes e4, black went for castle. Instead of that, bishop f5 was also another possibility, and after castling, white took a pawn. White has perfectly mobilized pieces, temporarily his pawn up. Probably black will gain pawn back after bishop g4, but still black must spend some time to gain material back, and also probably bishop g4 will be exchanged for knight f3. We will see later how white will use that fact. a3 attacking bishop, aiming for bishop pair. If bishop d6, white can of course take that bishop. And after bishop a5, what's benefit? Well, simply bishop c4 can be placed on a2, save from some another attacks. Bishop a2 immediately, although instead of that queen d3 was also a reasonable option, or maybe bishop g5. Well, bishop a2, bishop b6, and now black tries to take d4 immediately. d5 will not work because knight d4 with some complicates which are not so favor for white. Well, in that moment Botvinnik played very logically and very energically. He allows black to gain material back after h3, but black must exchange bishop for knight in order to take on d4. What's the point? If bishop goes to h5, white can keep pressure after d5, knight d4, and g4. Now knight on f3 cannot be taken. Of course, knight on f3 can be taken, but white will not double pawns. So there is solid extra pawn for white. Black decided to take, and now after that white just transferred his material advantage into positional advantage. What point? Well, after queen h5 you can see all white pieces have perfect possibilities for activities in next stage of the game. Bishop on a2 is perfect, also can be transferred to b1 if necessary to control other diagonal. Bishop from c1 can go to g5, h6 if necessary, maybe sacrifice after h6. Knight from e4 can go to g5, attacking f7 and h7 same time. One of white rooks, probably rook from a1, will go to d-file, controlling d-file and pinning knight, and queen is already very active on h5. Black played knight ef5 in order to activate his pieces, and now Botvinnik went for bishop g5, although instead of bishop g5 it looks like that another possibility, knight g5, knight h6 with bishop b1 was even better for white. Black cannot prevent losing of h7 pawn, and knight on h6 will be main black king defender. White will have bishop pair with extra pawn. Black can try knight b3, but after bishop h7 still white is much better, maybe already winning position for white. Knight ef5, bishop g5 happened, as I said, queen d7 and queen g4. Instead of queen g4, maybe rook ae1, rook ad1 can happen, but okay, queen g4. Idea is knight f6, of course. If black takes, bishop f6 with a mate. Well, king h8, and now f7 pawn is without king defense, and white decided to continue pressuring black knights with rook ad1. Since that moment, I think black position is hopeless. Why hopeless? Well, simply you can see that both black knights are pinned. Actually, both black knights defend each other, and that is not good in so open position, especially if opponent has two powerful bishops like in that position. So open position, two powerful bishops for white, and of course even rook d1, knight e4 and queen g4 are very active pieces. Black knights are hanging, and soon probably one of knights will be lost. Let's see how Botvinnik realized that advantage. His first knight goes back. There is idea bishop d5, something like that, bishop e4 maybe, but there is even maybe more promising idea, knight d5. Why knight d5? Well, bishop on b6 is main defender of that hanging knights. After knight d5 and knight b6, black knight will lose support, and probably one of them will be lost. Rook ae8 happened. Bishop d5 was an option, knight d5 I think also, but for some reason Botvinnik switched diagonal of that bishop. Maybe that's even the best move, not only targeting h7 but also attacking that knight. So now knight d4 cannot move, knight f5 cannot move, completely paralyzed knight. Queen a6, and now very bad move played by Mikhail Botvinnik. I wonder if game is not annotated well, so looks like rook f1 cannot be played by Botvinnik. I do not know what Botvinnik saw during game, but black missed perfect possibility after queen e1 and king h2 to have very comfortable play. Now two rooks are better than queen. White has some threats, of course. Knight on f5 is hanging, but simply now can move, for instance, to d6 and looks like black will survive. Let's see what happened instead. Black missed possibility to take. He played queen c8, and after that white played knight d5. Perfect move. Well, as already stated, white idea is exchange knight for bishop and then play on against that hanging knight. h6. Now position is already hopeless, without any doubt. Takes, bishop d2. Why bishop d2? Well, bishop goes to better diagonal. Two bishops on b1 and c3 will not only attack that knight, but also will target black king. So-called Horvitz bishops on two neighbor diagonals attacking on opponent king. Rook e1 happened, rook d8, and as stated already, bishop c3, of course. Black tried with queen c5, and now even queen helps to white. Well, simply not only g4 is ideal, but maybe in some position queen e8, of course. So black desperately tried to exchange queens. Of course, white refused that, and queen b5. In some variations there will be knight e2 possibility, but white secures his king position simply after king h2. King h1 was also good, but okay. King g8, and now so many winning moves for white. One of them is g4, but still Botvinnik played rook e5. After that, bishop b1 is under attack, and bishop f5. What after knight e2? Looks like Botvinnik blunders something. Queen f4 is under attack, and queen g1 is very dangerous threat. Of course, white can play rook e2, but that didn't satisfy Botvinnik. Yes, he found some brilliant move. Bishop h7. Everything was very precisely calculated by Mikhail Botvinnik, and let's see what happened. Of course, king f8 will be faced with bishop b4 with mate. King h7 will be faced with queen e4, king g8, and queen e2, of course. Black played king g8, but now simply that wins the game. Black is unable to prevent mate on g7. So what a strategic triumph. Just I will once again show position after white bishop c3. Just see what a triumph of white strategy. Look at that, amazing bishops, open rook, and very active queen. And look at that hanging knights and pieces on the rim. Very illustrative game on topic how to use bishop pair in open position against pair of knights. Once again, I hope you enjoyed that video, and see you soon with new material. Bye bye.